as you know, forces from Eritrea that are there, and we have forces from an adjoining region, Amara, that are there. They need to come out. And a force that will not abuse the human rights of the people of Tigray or commit acts of ethnic cleansing, which we've seen in Western Tigray, that has to stop. We also need full accountability. We need to get an independent investigation into what took place there.
And I was first mandated in early 21 by His Excellency High Representative Borrell to travel first to Ethiopia as a fact-finding mission. That time I did not visit Tigray, but had an opportunity to visit Sudan and also the Kuba camp on the border of Ethiopia and Sudan. And of course, in the camp of Kuba already see the misery of people who have been fleeing from Tigray. And it was particularly clear that in the Kuba camp already in February, there were more than 20,000 refugees, and the refugee workers said that people who are fleeing from Tigray are even in a worse condition than earlier. There are unoccupied children coming. There are people who have been suffering malnutrition and so forth. And this was the situation in February. I had then opportunity to meet Prime Minister Abiy. I had opportunity to talk to Foreign Minister Mekonnen and other ministers in Addis Ababa, and it was very clear actually that in February there was still this kind of atmosphere of denial ongoing in Ethiopia. They even denied, of course, they denied the human rights violations, they denied the refugee crisis, and they denied the Eritrean participation, which was, of course, a little bit shocking for us because we had already several witnesses and the humanitarian organization on the ground who have been witnessing the Eritrean presence. And of course, in addition to that, we raised issues on the GERD, the Renaissance Dam issue, and the Al-Fasaka Triangle issue, which seems still to be a hotspot of the area. None of these issues, not the national dialogue or ceasefire, has been so far implemented by the Ethiopian government, and as you know, they are now in the middle of so-called election process. They have postponed the elections, and in the end of June should be the first round, and I understand that then in autumn the next ones. In addition to these key messages, I had the opportunity then to visit again with the mandate of Josep Borrell Tigray, Mekele. We saw the hospital there. We heard the stories about all the closed hospitals and destroyed hospitals and health stations. We had an opportunity to meet the humanitarian organization and hear the eyewitnesses. We met with the women who have been victims of sexual violence and harassment. Very, very serious crimes. So it's very obvious that when these human rights reports are coming, it will be a very dark picture on Tigray. What is the situation now, particularly from the western Tigray? People have fled, as said, an estimation between 1 or 2 million IDPs, many of them now in Mekele. We met them in schools that they are occupying now as temporary IDP centers. At the same time, of course, the authorities said they have no place for these people, no possibility to have them permanently there. There are no permanent refugee camps. And at the same time, the government of Ethiopia is talking about returning of these people to Western Tigray, but not any credible plan of doing that. And of course, if you send farmers back to locations where their equipment and houses are destroyed, it's another catastrophe. What we are facing now is very likely the even increased humanitarian catastrophe in the form of malnutrition. UN OCHA has been warning about that. People have not been able to cultivate during the agricultural season and so forth. So we have additional problems coming for Tigrayans. When I met the Ethiopian leadership in February, they really used this kind of language that they are going to destroy the Tigrayans, they are going to wipe out the Tigrayans for 100 years and so forth, which for me referred to very serious human rights atrocities and crimes as well. If you wipe out your national minority, what is it? You cannot destroy all the people. You cannot destroy all the population in Tigray, and I think that's very obvious that we have to react and because it looks for us like ethnic cleansing. It is a very serious act if this is true.